All right, so for this portion of the video series, I'm going to be showing you how to take pictures of your baby using just a solid white blanket on your bed. Now, if you don't have a white blanket, you can use a sheet as well. And really, any white blanket will do. My favorite is this kind of ruffly one from IKEA, but you can use a knit blanket. Really, I suggest anything that's just really big. So it's going to cover a lot of space around a baby. That's going to make it a lot easier. So hopefully you have something like that you can work with. If not, if you want to use like a gray or a beige or a pale color, or even a sheet, like a white sheet or something under a baby blanket, and then get the photos, then that will work too. Now for my shoot here, I don't have a real baby obviously to work with, so I've got two. I've got Moana and this little dolly here. So I'm mostly going to use this dolly, but for part of the shoot, I do want to show you just some poses you can put them in by bending their arms. And this little guy's pretty stiff, so he doesn't move very easily. So that's where Moana will come in and help us. So my window is right here. The edge of the bed is right here, and then I've got my white blanket all ready to go. I want to have the little guy. Now, with the baby, I'm just going to try to change the light here. There we go. Oh, hopefully that's okay. You can see me okay. So babies don't like to be uncovered. They like to be covered all the time. So with this little one, if your baby hopefully is out cold, if they're a little bit awake but content, that's fine too. And what you want to do though is just really make sure that baby stays covered, like their legs and their arms. You don't ever really want their legs and their arms to be out at the same time. They don't like that and they're going to get grumpy. Now I'm going to show you two different poses on the bed with the white blanket. One is straight with baby on their back. So a lot of babies, if you put them on their back, sometimes their hands will go, or like their arms will go up around their head like that. I love that pose. I think it's adorable. And this is also a really good time to get shots of yawns and stuff too. So I've got my baby on their back, on the bed. Ideally they're asleep, maybe they're awake, but they're not moving a whole lot. Now if they do happen to move or wake up, just hold those hands where you want them to be, okay? They'll might fuss a little, but really, if they are allowed to flail their arms around, they are gonna wake up. So for me as a photographer, sometimes I just sit and I just hold their arms where I want them to be, and I shush them, and they go back to sleep. Now, again, remember that right now, I don't have white noise playing because you need to hear me, but you need to have white noise playing, and it needs to be like right beside their head. It needs to be loud, and that's gonna keep them asleep. Okay, so I got my little one, and my baby is on a white blanket. The window is there. I've closed my curtain just to make the light a bit better for the video, but hopefully you have it open and the light should look good. Not too bright, not too dark, but your phone will help fix that too. So baby's just on the back. If I feel like there's a lot of shadow on baby's face, then I can tilt them just a little towards the window to get more light. Then I'm just going to make sure my blanket looks good, there's no big bumps around it, and I'm going to come over top of baby and take a photo. And baby's sleeping, looks super cute. Maybe baby has a yawn. If you think your baby might yawn, what you can do is blow on their face or tickle their cheek a little, and then sometimes they'll give you a yawn doing that too. So a few shots, maybe with their arms up, maybe with just their arms down from overhead, always looks really good. And on your phone, if you feel like the photo is too dark, just push on the bit that's dark, and it'll lighten the rest of the photo, but you don't want it to be too bright. Now the other part of the white photos is to have baby on their side. And this is my favorite. I love this. Now this is maybe where I'll show you Moana. So when I have baby laying on their side here, I really like to tuck one hand under their head and one hand across their chest, maybe under their chin, on that side, say both of them under that cheek, or even one hand on either side of their cheek. That looks really cute too. But either way, I like to have their hands around their face for part of the photo shoot. And if they're in a deep enough sleep, that should be no problem. Just to move them, just go slow and gentle. Again, as long as it's warm, as long as you've got white noise, and as long as they're full, they should be fine. So moving back to this little guy because he looks more like a baby. Say I've got him posed the way I want him to. I'm going to make sure he's facing towards the window. And then I'm going to make sure, another part is that there's lots of blanket behind him and around him, around his head. There doesn't need to be a ton in front of him, but mostly behind him. And then because he's on his side, I might need to support him with the blanket from behind a little bit. Now while he's on his side, I want to come around and I want to kind of turn my phone right at about nose angle. So where his nose is, straight up. And that's kind of the angle I want to use to get a shot of him. Make sure your blanket looks good in the background. Make sure baby looks good. There's no milk, there's no drool. And go ahead and take photos. And then play with your angles here. So you want to go up and maybe above baby a bit. Maybe you want to go below baby. When I'm doing their detailed photos, so their nose and their mouth, usually for me, I like to go up from below. So that's where, and I'll show you guys these pictures as I take them. I like to go get their lips and their mouth from underneath, and same with their nose from underneath. I just think it's a really cute angle. If I'm getting their eyelashes though, then I want to go from above, and then I want to go down like this. With their ears, so I want a photo of their ears because they never look this small again. I want to turn them right on their side, make sure baby's comfy, make sure baby's happy, and then I want to make sure that ear has enough light on it. So if not, I mean, don't push baby's head into the blanket. Obviously that's not going to be good, but you do want to make sure that there is light coming in so you can get that ear. So and then you want to photograph, go right up to that ear. Again, you should just have a nice clean white background. Now when it comes to doing their fingers and their toes, I personally like using mom's fingers for the mom's hands for their fingers, and then daddy's hands for their feet. And the reason is usually moms have nicer fingernails. However, right now, none of us have nice fingernails, unfortunately. But what you can do is while baby's sleeping here, just gently grab baby's finger. Baby's sleeping, don't move too fast, take your time. And you can tuck your finger into baby's hand. Now you don't have to have your fingernail facing towards the camera. Just flip your hand around and have baby even holding just one finger. And I'll show you guys what this looks like. So my hand is facing towards me, and I've just put my hand in baby's hand, and then I've got that. You can even do dad's hand too if you would prefer. And just capture their little fingers. So again, we want all those details. We want the nose, the eyelashes, the lips, the eyes. We want their fingers. And then for the feet, what I like to do is two things. One, keeping baby covered up. So baby does not want to be uncovered at any point. You want to keep baby covered up. Hopefully they're still sleeping. Maybe just roll them back a little. And then for me, what I like to do is just bunch that blanket up around their feet so it looks like their feet are poking through. And then I'm just going to come up and I'm going to make sure that those feet are pointing towards the window. So I've got good light on them. And then I'm going to come from the side. So toes are pointing right towards the window right now. And then I'm going to come from the side and I'm going to capture them. So then that way I've got a little bit of shadow and a little bit of outline. And then you can do so straight on so that you get the bottom of the foot. And then you want to go from the top so that you get the nails and their little toesies. Now if you want daddy to come in and hold baby's feet, then what I suggest is that dad hooks his fingers, pinkies together, ring fingers open, around baby's feet like this. And then he can circle his hands around like that. And just exactly like that right there. I won't be able to take a picture because I'm using my hands. But see how good that looks? And then that's daddy's hands. And then you're just going to take a picture of that with that nice white background. And hopefully baby's sleeping and your other kids aren't terrorizing each other and everything is good. So those are the kind of the key shots that I like to get when baby's on a white blanket. Really just those clean detail shots, belly button photos, leg, whatever. If baby falls in to sleep in a weird position or makes funny gas smiles, anything like that, just capture it and then just trust that you've got great light and a nice clean background to work with. So next I'm going to show you how to take a video, or not video, I'm taking a video, how you can take a picture of your baby in a basket and wrapped up. So we'll move on to that.